Title: My wife's coworker came to our house for some work talk. When he was leaving, I stopped him at the door and said, "Show me your hand." He asked, "Are you kidding?" I told him, "Open your fist and show me." Start, I caught him at the door. My wife's coworker, hands full of excuses, but all I saw was the flicker of guilt behind his eyes. "Show me your hand," I said, not a question. He froze. "Are you kidding?" His voice trembled. I repeated, slower, "Open your fist, show me." He hesitated. And then, under the dim porch light, my world shifted. Her underwear tumbled from his palm. He blurted, "It's not what you think, but my patience had evaporated years ago." The punch I restrained shook in my chest. And then she appeared, my daughter, her small face puzzled. "Dad, I need to tell you something." It all came crashing back. The laughter in our living room, the late-night coffee she used to make me, the trust I poured into her. I loved her fiercely. I trusted her blindly. And now, that trust was a lie wrapped in silk and whispered lies. I should have seen the signs. The hidden phone calls, the late evenings at work she said were projects, the new perfume I didn't recognize. Every detail I dismissed, every instinct I silenced, because I wanted to believe in us. But tonight, the evidence lay naked in his trembling hand. I didn't yell. I didn't storm out. I closed the door quietly, locked it behind me. Inside, I felt the betrayal like ice in my veins. Pain twisted into focus. Planning. Every thought sharpened into purpose. This wasn't just anger. This was strategy. I watched them. Every text, every digital footprint, I documented. I traced every clandestine meeting, bank statements, work logs, deleted messages. I resurrected them. I became the shadow in our own home, a silent collector of their deceit. She smiled at me during breakfast. I smiled back. But the predator she had invited in didn't suspect he was already caught in the web I wove. Weeks passed. I moved quietly, surgically. I called his superiors under false pretenses, dropped hints of his improprieties, nudged small truths into place until the professional house of cards wavered. I arranged for messages to reach her in subtle, undeniable ways. Each revelation was timed to inflict maximum cognitive dissonance. I didn't need to confront them yet. The slow burn was more satisfying. They were unraveling without knowing I was the architect. The final act required only patience, and I had plenty. Then came the day. My daughter, unwittingly, delivered the final spark. She had overheard enough, piecing together her own puzzle. "Dad, I saw him take it," she whispered, holding my hand in hers. The weight of her innocence, the gravity of the truth, it ignited the storm I had been controlling. I didn't shout, I didn't cry. I invited them to the living room. They both knew it was serious the moment they stepped in. "Everything," I said, calm, deliberate, "has a witness. Everything is traceable." I slid the files across the table, screenshots, receipts, emails, photographs. He paled. She faltered. I watched the veneer of control crack like glass. Tried excuses. I didn't react. Her eyes darted between us, guilt written in every glance. My daughter stood behind me, silently witnessing the reckoning. "It's over," I said. Simple, unyielding. And then I let the cold truth land. She would face consequences. He would face exposure. I didn't need to yell. The weight of evidence did my work. The fallout was precise. Professional ruin for him. Social isolation for her. Mutual friends who had been blind now took sides. She begged, pleaded. I responded only with facts. No theatrics. No emotional unraveling. Just justice. I walked past them later, in the quiet house that was once ours. Their whispers followed me, but I felt nothing but clarity. I wasn't vengeful for vengeance's sake. I was deliberate, surgical. The betrayal had been deep, but my response was deeper. My daughter hugged me that night. She didn't need details. She didn't need lies or half-truths. I held her and felt the weight lift, a quiet triumph. Our home was silent again, not empty, just right. I didn't need to gloat. The collapse of their world was satisfying enough. Watching someone's arrogance crumble under their own deception is a quiet symphony. I had orchestrated it, conducted it, and it played perfectly. I walked past the door where it all started.
The faint scent of her perfume lingered. I paused, not for nostalgia, not for regret. I paused to admire the symmetry of justice. Every action, every lie, every betrayal had led here. I closed my eyes, felt the calm of victory, not the chaotic thrill of rage, but the quiet, cold assurance of control. They had underestimated me. They had misjudged the silence. I had turned betrayal into proof, deception into downfall, and I survived it. Stronger, clearer, untouchable. Sometimes revenge isn't loud. Sometimes it's a whisper, a shadow, a calculated step no one sees coming until it's too late. And when it lands perfectly. I smiled. The past was dead. The house safe. The lesson learned. Justice served. I had risen while they fell, and I didn't need to raise a hand, except the one I didn't swing, yet always had ready.